And here we go again. Just get my life together, I guess. Sort of. That's relative. What's going on, everybody? It is Jessica, is Baseball Jess, if you will, with the Dugout Dialogue. And you know what? Things are changing. We are in September baseball. The guys are up to their own thing. So they get to join the whole spiel. And if you've been around, you know what it is. We say fuck Dave around here. But now, fuck Alec and fuck Duke. And yes, this is a hand tattoo by my daughter. So clearly, we're having a wild and crazy night. September baseball, though, let's talk about wild. September baseball is fucking wild right now. Had you told me at the beginning of this season that I'd be looking at the Cubs as a contender for postseason, I don't even care how far we make it, to be quite honest, because I'm going to be completely transparent and honest. We're not going to beat the Braves if it came down to it. We're just not. We're not. The Braves are literally the only team in baseball right now that could lose the majority of their games, and it's not going to affect their postseason very much. It would take a very drastic turn. Let's just put it that way. Obviously, numbers, right? They literally can't lose every single game. But if they didn't do too hot, like they're not doing too hot against the Cardinals right now, it would not ruin everything for them, which is a crazy thing to think about. It is crazy to think that there is a team in the MLB right now that pretty much has it on lockdown. If you got to put people on the IL for 2 weeks, if you've got to get people rested up, Braves, do it now. I will take it. I am actually going to see the Braves tomorrow against the Cardinals, which is their Thursday game. And if they win, they win. And if they lose, they lose. Like, I'm not worried about them as a team. And I've called that since the beginning. But what I did not call, nor did I expect, was where my Cubbies, which is why I've got my Cubs on, would be right now. When we came into this season, brand new, the majority of our team is brand new. We acquired Dansby Swanson. So, of course, everybody's giving me shit because I live in Braves country. If you don't know, we acquired Swanson from the Braves after they've had some phenomenal seasons. And I did not project us to do this well. I knew we had a great start. We had a great start to our season, but the reality is when you are gelling new players and coaching styles and all these things, you're just hoping everybody shows up on time to an extent. So for me to see this team really, they're 12 games over 500. We are crushing it. We are 1.5 games back now behind Milwaukee for the division title. And it is September 6th. September 6th. We are officially in the home stretch. Postseason starts October 3rd. And as we start going more and more, I think the only way to stay on top of everything and to stay, things are going to be changing daily. And so we are going to start adapting to that, which is a feat I am now putting on myself in this moment because I opened my big trap. But at minimum, every other day, things are changing so rapidly for teams that are vying for those postseason spots. Because if you can't win your division, you gotta get into the wild card. And the Cubs are in the wild card as of right now. And we're a game and a half back from winning our division. Now, that was a combination of things. We just hosted San Francisco, swept them. And I don't mean like swept them barely, like annihilated them. Kicked their asses. put a beating on them to the point where now one of our pitchers, Justin Steele, has definitely cemented his name into the talks for Cy Young. And when he pitched against San Francisco, we're talking 8 shutout innings, 12 outs, 12. Like, he came in and he made his presence known. And now we've got Suzuki's coming up a little bit better. He's starting to hit a little bit better. And now you've got this sweep against San Francisco that puts us in a spot. And I'm looking because I've got the Braves game up. We have the Diamondbacks next, is the next series. And now the teams that we know are falling to the wayside, fell away long ago. We're not going to be focusing on that. We are going to be focusing on the NL division because I'm curious to see. The thing I'm curious to see from the NL division is who gives the Braves a run for their money. I've been watching the Braves, and everybody gets frustrated when they lose. And the way it is, and the way it's kind of set up right now, is they have so much cushion that they can kind of ease off, take their time, relax, and get geared up in ways that no other teams can for postseason. They can put players on the IL. They can rest players. They can rest whoever they need to get themselves prepared. That's all they're focused on. They are postseason. That is it. Everything else, icing on the cake right now, postseason. That is it. But what does that mean for the rest of the NL? What does that mean for the rest of the contenders to represent the national division or the National League in the World Series? You have to go through them. You have to go through the Braves to even get a shot there. So it's going to be really interesting for me to see who stands up. And obviously, that's the other reason I think going every day, every other day, 20, 30 minutes, just the rundown, right? We're not focusing on everybody. We're not watching. You don't have your eyes on a million different places. You just have it on 1 or 2 spots. And because of that, you are able to almost look at things a little bit better. And you are able to, oh, look, a child decides to randomly pop up in my video. Is there something you need, child, while I am going on my rundown? Okay, that's what I thought. Usually when you confront them, it's like an aggressive animal. If you just stare it in the eyes, they kind of tend to back down. So let's see. LA obviously has their division right now. And to me, they are not, hold please, that's going to be it. They are not contenders true. The reason I say that, and I've said this for a while, the division they play in is not really typically known for being that difficult, right? So if your division's not that difficult, you aren't really seeing, they're going to get into this matchup with everybody else, and it's going to be a rough time. Now, right now, for the Central Division, Milwaukee's got it, but like I said earlier, as far as divisions go, we are only a game and a half back, and we've got 2 other series going on. I've got an 8-year-old who thinks she's going to have waffles after she called me from the nurse's office. Yeah. She thinks she's going to have waffles for dessert. She told me she wasn't hungry, but you know. So as far as that goes, it goes either way. Now the wild card game matchup right now is Phillies and Chicago Cubs, and to be realistic about it, right, is to say that the Cubs do not have a chance. Yes. The Cubs don't have a chance in that unless something crazy happens. I'm just and I say that as a realistic that they should be proud of what they've accomplished and know that they are about to show everybody what to expect for the next year or two, I think. I think we've got another good group. I think we have another group that can do something amazing. I was shocked to see how far they went this year. So as far as the wild card goes, we'll see. You know, AL is still, they've just been the weaker division this year. And it's hard to watch. It's hard to watch the American League struggle so much. Now, let's see. I'm looking at the wild cards. I still think Orioles. I still think the Orioles have got it for the American League. I don't think we're going to see much deviation. Maybe the Astros could come out and swing something, but you know what? I'm going to say it, and I've said it 100 times. I'll say it a million more. Fuck the Astros after everything they did. Mainly fuck Altuve, and if you fucking hear this, little man, I will trip you in public. I don't even care. This is going to be a complete side tangent, but to show zero remorse when you got caught, even if you had to fake it. Like, fake it, bro. No, didn't. So they're in it. And then the Minnesota Twins. We've still got Tampa Bay is fucking insane. As far as wild card, they're up 7.5 games. But that, again, Tampa Bay, I think, should be in there besides the Astros. If I could remove one of those, it would definitely be. So if I could remove one and replace it, and I can't do it because Tampa Bay and or Baltimore are in the same division. Excuse me. But if I could, I would remove the Astros and put Tampa Bay in there. I think they are a contender. But at the same time, I don't see anybody dominating the Braves. And I've tried to rack my brain, and I'm sure as we get into September more, and I see the Braves tomorrow, because like I said, I'm going to see them on Thursday when they play the Cardinals for the last game of that series. And they're struggling. They're struggling against the Cardinals right now. But I would venture to say that's somewhat strategic. Now, you do have time. St. Louis really is kicking the Braves' ass right now. Hopefully, when I'm there tomorrow, it's a much better game that would make it more enjoyable. But I just don't see anybody in the AL contending, and even the teams in the National League are not contending. So I think the best way to handle and cover all of this, especially, Cy Young talks and, postseason, right, less than a month away, right around the corner, I think we got to take these to 20 to 30 minutes every single day, every other day at most. And I think if you've never seen postseason before, it'll put it in a way that shows you how fast it goes with digestible forms. And because I want everybody to get involved, if you have always just been a recreational baseball watcher, this last stretch, this last month, some wild shit can happen. And then we go into postseason. And we go into the wild card games and the division games and all these games that ultimately lead to the World Series. And it is a emotional roller coaster, especially if you're a true baseball fan. Even when your team gets knocked out, you still want to see who won. So, it's kind of, I think, the direction we're going to go. I'm excited to see what happens. I'm excited to see what the Cubs do in their next few outings. And that's just to see if they can pull off something. But I think we're seeing glimmers of it. One, that everybody in this sport is kind of doing better than I thought they would. The Cubs are actually kind of giving me hope. We're gonna adjust these because I think there's too much stuff happening every day for it to be a once a week show right now. And I want to keep all my thoughts in it. I want to stay on it. I want to keep y'all in it, like all of it. All of it. And so World Series pick. Still going with the Braves and the Cardinals. And I think the Braves are going to take it still. We'll find out. I see them tomorrow. We'll get some content up for that. But let's bring on this final stretch, postseason. Let's just fucking go.